Welcome to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, where you can learn and be inspired by real-world examples of how technology is transforming businesses and reshaping industries in a language everyone can understand. Here is your host, Neil C. Hughes.
Welcome back to the podcast and this featured partner series of the Citrix Ready podcast, where I explore the technology integrations that Citrix has with its partners. And in this series, I invite guests from Citrix and their partners to spend some time with me here to share how they're solving real-world problems for businesses. Not on their own, but by working together. And in today's episode of the Citrix Ready podcast series, I want to learn more about how Citrix and a company called Zoho are working together to solve those real-world problems. And that's going to involve exploring the world of workspace with intelligence, micro apps, and ultimately how Zoho is syncing up with Citrix in this domain. Now, I always say that technology works best when it brings people together. And today, it's going to bring myself from the UK, John from Citrix in the US, and Vinay from Zoho in India. But you know what I think makes this even more special? It's the fact that our conversation is going to be listened to you all in 165 different countries. If that's not a perfect example of technology working best when it brings people together and enabling us all to learn from each other, I don't know what is. So enough from me. Let's get the guests onto the podcast right now. So a massive warm welcome to the show, guys. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Sure, Neil. Great to be here. I'm John Panagulias, and I run our developer and partner programs for Citrix.
And hello, everyone. I'm Vinay. I'm part of the Global ISV and Strategic Alliance at Zoho Corporation.
Fantastic. And for people hearing about Zoho for the very first time, could I just ask that you tell me a little bit more about the kind of problems that you're solving for businesses, Vinay?
Sure. Founded in 1996, Zoho Corporation is the software company behind three great brands, Zoho, Manage Engine, and WebNMS. With over 50 million users worldwide and with 45 plus apps, Zoho covers nearly every major business category, including sales, marketing, customer support, accounting, and back office operations, and also an array of productivity and collaboration tools. Well, at Zoho, we call ourselves as the operating system for business, which also means a single online platform capable of running an entire company. And Zoho is a privately held with more than 8,000 employees worldwide. We are headquartered in Austin, Texas, with an international development headquarters based in Chennai.
Excellent. And from Citrix point of view, I would suspect that most people listening will know of Citrix or have an awareness of Citrix, but some people listening will be new to Citrix Workspace. So can I ask that you tell me a little bit more about the intelligent features and micro apps that you have there at with Citrix Workspace, John?
Sure, Neil. Yep. So for those that are both familiar and unfamiliar with Citrix, let me just kind of level set. The Citrix Workspace is a unified, secure, and intelligent work platform. It transforms an employee experience by doing three important things: organizing, guiding, and automating all the activities people need to do their best work. So it's really very, very sophisticated. And what's unique about it is the Citrix Workspace includes an intelligent work feed that allows users to interact with micro apps to perform actions or gain insights from legacy on-prem or SaaS applications. Developers and admins, for that matter, can configure or build micro apps using the micro app service, which is available in the Citrix Cloud Console. The micro app service powers the workspace feed by allowing end users to perform actions or gain insights from legacy on-prem or those SaaS apps directly within their workspace. So that's what's very unique about what we're doing with Citrix Workspace and how and where developers and ISVs like Zoho fit in.
And while I've got you on the podcast, John, something else I've been reading more and more about is the Citrix Ready Developer Program. But for people listening, hearing about that for the first time as well, and indeed for myself, because I'd like to learn a little bit more about that, can you expand on what the Citrix Ready Developer Program is, who can participate, and why do we need this program?
Sure. So, the developer program for Citrix Workspace is the newest, latest entry of our overall developer program. We've had developer program for our on-prem products, for our cloud offerings. Podio and ShareFile have strong developer communities. But with this latest release of Citrix Workspace, we needed to really rethink and energize a developer program around what we're trying to achieve through Citrix Workspace with micro apps. So there's it's a comprehensive program with a whole set of tools and documentation that developers can access right now through our new Citrix Workspace developer portal. In there, you'll find documentation on how to build a custom HTTP application integration and create micro apps, how to export and import those micro apps and integrations, as well as, examples with Jira, Asana, and Slack. We've got lots of guides, basically how-to guides to help you configure micro app integrations, details on the architecture. We have a video that shows you how to use the micro app builder, what it looks like, how to use it. We did Citrix Converge, our first developer conference ever for Citrix back in October of 2019. You'll see all the videos there as well. And very, very importantly, we created a free personal developer test instance. And we make it super easy to get onboarded into the developer instance and into the program. That developer instance is available for 30 days, and we've made it very easy for you to renew it as long as you remain active with it. So you get all this stuff, and any developer out there that's looking to build micro apps, that wants to orchestrate and automate complicated business processes and workflows, wants to deliver an awesome desktop and mobile user experience, that's who we're after. When we launched, there were 15 integrations with applications like Workday, SAP, Google, Microsoft. And those were integrations, and with those came a whole bunch of micro apps. I think there's 50 or 100 micro apps now. But we did all that work. And what we want is for the developer community, ISVs, channel partners, system integrators, individual consultants and developers to really get excited about what can be built and how you can really transform and start to, truly impact the future of work. And that's why Zoho is really important to us, because they're the first third-party independent organization, and in this case, they're an independent software developer that got their hands dirty and built an integration into Zoho and then delivered a bunch of micro apps out of that. So they're really the model of what we want, and they see the value. And I think this is just the beginning of where we can go with these intelligent features in Citrix Workspace.
Excellent. Thanks, John. Indeed, thanks to both of you there for setting the scene. And I love hearing more about how you're both working in your own separate space, but I'm also fascinated by how you've come together and how your paths have crossed. So from the Zoho point of view, can you tell me more about the micro app that you built and why you decided to build this integration between Zoho and the Citrix Workspace?
Sure. I think I'll start with the why part, which might be really interesting, and to add a lot of context with just what John explained. At Zoho, we're always looking at an opportunity to transform the customer experience and productivity. And just like John mentioned, that they're always trying to solve complex business processes, right? And we define productivity as improving business processes and making them easy. And for most of our customers, they're always looking at making their employee experiences better. And for Citrix Workspace, employee experience is everything. So even from the business goals, we're always looking at how do we make our customers and their employees experience better. And this micro apps was just a start for that, for a longer journey that both Citrix and Zoho are trying to accomplish in the future of work. And to talk about what we developed from micro apps, so we built a micro app for our Zoho CRM, which is our customer relationship management software that helps sales teams convert more leads, engage with customers, grow their revenue. And with this micro apps that we built, we're able to offer the customers the increased employee productivity and engagement. So the main focus for us is to how do we make the sales teams more productive, right from closing a deal to interacting with deals that they're currently interacting with.
And I'm curious, what did you learn along the way, and what kind of tools or support did you get from the developer program and Citrix Ready?
Well, we decided to build the micro app in the mid of December, and we saw an opportunity to launch it before the Citrix Summit, which happened in the mid of Jan. And we quickly floated the idea to our internal Zoho Marketplace team, and they worked really, really hard to pull it off. And we didn't even take months or weeks. It just happened over the few days, obviously with a lot of support with Citrix Workspace platform team support. And to really explain the experience that we went with the Citrix Workspace platform team, I'd like to introduce Pradeep from our Zoho Marketplace team, who's our lead architect, to share his and his team's experience building the micro app. Over to you, Pradeep.
Thank you, Vinay. Hey, guys. So I'd like to start off by giving a quick background of our exposure to our platforms. So you might be aware that Zoho has built multiple platforms through which we engage the developers to build more integrations on top of it. So I also head the technical team, which actually more closely works with the partner to build integrations and then put their integrations and list it in the marketplace as well. So while we started analyzing the integration and started to build the integration, we found the Citrix platform to be super easy to develop the integration. So first, to start off with, the OAuth configurations was a straightforward one. And so initially, we thought of supporting only 4 micro apps. So that is for creation of a lead, contact, account, and deals. So for this, we used a form builder, which is just a drag and drop of the components. And finally, we were able to pull it off very easily. And then it has been associated to a service action. So this was done very quick time. Then still we had enough time to build 4 more applications. Then we decided on to make 4 micro apps, which is just to list the lead, contact, accounts, and deals. So on top of that, the platform also supports a scheduler, which was very helpful to sync the data automatically. And we find it really useful, and we built the integration in much better way and in much easier time. And coming to the support, what we got from the Citrix team. So when we started this integration, the Citrix team were very much interested, and they provided us with the immediate workspace account for the development right from the day one. And so whenever there is a need for any clarifications, the Citrix team would jump into a call and help us to clarify all the queries.
Just to finish off with what Pradeep was adding, not only was the whole experience of working with the Citrix team was amazing, but I personally happened to look into the dev environment. It's so easy and straightforward. It's like the drag and drop environment with a little bit of programming that is technically involved. So you're able to get a working micro app in few hours to a day. You don't need weeks or months, which is what happens with most API-driven development. And since Zoho, like Pradeep mentioned, Zoho has its own platform, we know the challenge of building and managing a platform, opening it up for thousands of developers, and and scaling the growth. So hats off to the Citrix team for pulling it off. And I know this is one of the first big initiatives from the developer platform side, and we really, really look forward to working with them on a long term.
Thanks, Vinay. And thanks to Pradeep there as well, because I think it's so important to get the insights across from the developers too. And speaking of that, John, what kind of, for any developers that are listening, what type of developers can join, and ultimately, what's in it for the developers? Because I'm sure there's going to be some sat listening to this podcast asking those exact questions.
So, Neil, like Vinay and Pradeep have described, they're a great example of an ISV that is working on development effort, in this case, an integration to their own system, Zoho, and then they built microapps to extend it with the workflows as they described. The program's open to anybody that's really interested in orchestrating and automating business processes and workflows, as I mentioned earlier. And that could be someone that is sitting inside a corporate environment or within an organization of really any type. It could be other ISVs like Zoho, of which there are many, many that we'd love to talk to and work with. Many of our channel partners will begin and have started to build their own integrations, their own sets of microapps, consultants, system integrators. It's really a very broad, swath of types. The whole thing is really centered around, are you interested in really developing and creating, really when you get down to it, the future of work. And we think Citrix Workspace is that platform. So that's who we're looking for. And so the developer program is essentially there to help everybody learn and build. And what we've done is extended it so that if you'd like to, and we hope you will, get exposure, that you'll join the Citrix Ready Program, because that's where you can go and take your integrations and microapps and get them validated by Citrix. That tells customers and other partners that, hey, these things work. They're supported by Citrix and the partner, and we'll place them into our microapp catalog in the Citrix Ready marketplace. So it's about exposure. It's about linking up with other Citrix channel partners, which there are thousands and thousands and thousands, and it's also exposure to our customers. We've got over 400,000 customers, and we will be promoting all the work that our partners do and the microapp catalog through social media, through web marketing. Both of those will be paid and organic. But we also want to get more exposure through blogs, through potentially webinars, podcasts such as this, so that Zoho and others like them can get to, tell their story, tell their journey, get customers excited about Citrix Workspace and Zoho in this example and others. So we've really tried to build a program that is from the development all the way out to the point where it gets touched and used by a customer.
And I love how you're doing just that. And the kind of relationship that you guys have built together kind of highlights the power of that too. But for everybody listening, a question I'd love to ask you both is, how is this relationship helping customers and partners? And John, if you could tackle that question first.
Well, I think it helps customers because customers are in general, they're challenged by how do we make work more effective and efficient, and all those things that are really the basis for this evolution of Citrix Workspace. So the center of that is having integrations to these systems of record, whether that's Workday or Salesforce or Zoho and many, many others out there, and the ability for developers, wherever they sit, whether they're within an organization or they're independent in some form or fashion or a channel partner, to be able to go and then build custom workflows around that. And every organization is different, as we all know. So everybody has different priorities at an organizational level or at an enterprise level. And what the power of the Citrix Workspace is, and our developer and partner programs, is to basically enable that, flourishing of creativity around how to design for the future of work, for your particular organization. So that's the real power. That's what's in it for customers and for partners, and in particular for channel partners, right? That are working directly with our customers, and others. I mean, when you talk about partner, that really spans a wide gamut, right? And in general, our partners are the ones that are talking with and touching the customer, and helping them kind of transform their business. And that's, tying that together with the Citrix Workspace is how we are going to really create that future of work.
Excellent. And Vernai, from your point of view, how does this relationship help customers and partners? Is it much of the same, or do you see anything else in that?
Well, mostly same, but this is an interesting question, right? The micro apps for us was a very strategic initiative, both from a product and business goals. From a product perspective, which is what we always think of customers, it's about providing the unified integration, right, for mutual customers that we share today between Citrix and Zoho, and also for the future prospects. Because the more and more we have researched on our customers' usage of apps, desktop, cloud, mobile. While the cloud apps do solve most of the business problems, they're all disconnected. So even a sales team today, with having a powerful CRM, they still depend on systems like telephony and others, where a conversation happens on telephone, and then most often it doesn't get logged into a CRM. And likewise, the employees use a bunch of other tools. And loss of information is causing all the organizations lose valuable information about the businesses, the processes, and so on and so forth. So from our customer side, we felt let's expose our product beyond our ecosystem. So most SaaS companies or most cloud products, they're always trying to see how to keep or retain the customers within the product. But at Zoho, we take a different approach. We try to go through an open API route, where most of the features within our products are exposed for other platform partners. Likewise, with Citrix, we picked the 8 most important features of a CRM, and we built the micro apps out of them. For the common customers of Zoho and Citrix, it's already a win-win. And especially from a business perspective, over the last couple of years, we've been aggressively focusing on the enterprise space. And Citrix is a pioneer there. 90% of Fortune 500 companies use Citrix. And for Zoho, that is where we want to position our enterprise-ready apps. And in turn, Citrix is focusing a lot of their SaaS and cloud offerings to more and more SMBs and any customers out there wanting a SaaS and cloud offering. And we have been pioneering there. So naturally, if you see both from a customer standpoint, from a partner standpoint, it's a win-win situation, right? So you're providing a perfect unified integration. And also from a business perspective, you're expanding to new geos, new market segment where we have never been before. So it's trying to leverage each of our potential and then growing the scale with our customers.
And also, Vernai, before I let you go, is there anything you can share about your future plans and how you see this relationship evolving? I appreciate you probably can't share too much at the moment, but is there anything you can share about the future?
Yes, certainly. So we want to continue enhancing the functionality of existing micro apps. We have probably used 20% of the API that Citrix platform is providing us today. We're already looking at all the new API enhancements they're announcing and trying to take advantage of them. And not only are we trying to enhance our existing micro apps, we're also trying to develop integrations with other enterprise-ready apps from Zoho, from customer support to finance to human resources. Every apps that has a contextual focus for the future of work as Citrix defines, and the productivity enhancement that we always define from Zoho's end.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. And over to you, John. Is there anything you can share about the future Citrix plans there?
Well, sure, Neil. I mean, we're going to continue to build our tools and documentation repository with API docs, sample code, utilities, and scripts. We also should mention we have a new forum in Citrix discussions specifically for integrations and micro app development. So we're really doing things to enhance and build this community. There will also be some product enhancements that will be coming in the near future. I should also mention we have our next set of Citrix Converge events taking place. One will be in Prague, March 25th to 26th, and then we'll be in Bangalore, April 1st and 2nd. So anybody in those areas, or if people wish to make a long flight, hey, please join us there. And then, we're going to continue finally to do outreach to our partner community as well as new partners like Zoho, because we really want to establish and build more third-party integrations and allow for really a great flourishing and proliferation of micro apps. And so we'll continue to do outreach in lots of ways, and we'll be more involved in other developer communities as we start to spread the word about Citrix and Citrix Workspace.
Excellent. Thanks, John. And for anybody listening that wanted to find out more information about those communities, what is the best landing place to find out more information about everything that you're doing and ask questions? Can you just point them in the direction?
Yeah, I think the easiest place to go is developer.citrix.com. There you'll see all of our various developer communities, and it's very easy to get started, and specifically just check out the Reinvent Your Workspace section if you want to dive right away into Citrix Workspace and that developer community and portal. But developer.citrix.com is the place to start.
Excellent. Thanks, John. And Vinay, same to you. For anybody listening who wants to explore and find out more information about Zoho, could you point them in the best direction and how to contact your team?
Sure. The best way to know more about our products and our services is to visit zoho.com. It's zoho.com. And also to visit marketplace.zoho.com to explore our ecosystem of apps with Citrix and other ISV partners, and a lot of other tools that we have built. So it's zoho.com and marketplace.zoho.com.
Excellent. Well, I'll add all those links to the show notes and the blog post that will accompany this episode over on my website, techblogwriter.co.uk/Zoho for this particular episode. But I've really enjoying about the evolution of the Citrix Workspace. But something that really excites me, as regular listeners will know of this podcast, is hearing how you're both working together to solve real-world problems for businesses. It's inspiring, to say the least. But more than anything, just a big thank you to John, Vernai, and Pradeep for joining me on the podcast today. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Today's episode really highlighted to me why I love doing this featured partner series so much. Because, yes, hearing what Citrix Workspace is and getting a better understanding of the intelligent features, the integrations and micro apps, along with exactly what the Citrix Ready Developer Program is, who can participate, why we need this program, what type of developers can join, and what's in it for developers, is all incredibly valuable. And equally as important, of course, of Zoho and the great work that they're doing. But I love learning how they decided to build that integration between Zoho and Citrix Workspace, the micro app that they built, and the lessons that they learned along the way. But more than anything, I felt the real value from this conversation today that united myself in the UK, John in the US, and Vinay and Pradeep in India, and you guys listening in 165 countries, is hearing how both Zoho and Citrix have almost converged and are solving problems for businesses together and not just in their own right. That is the most valuable part of this episode today, and indeed the series that we're running together. Because I think without these conversations, people may know a little bit about Zoho, they may know a little bit about Citrix, but they don't know the tools or the kind of support that they can get from the development program at Citrix Ready, for example. And also, the biggest value proposition of all is what's in it for the customers, what's in it for the partners, and where are they both heading in the future. And they're just a handful of reasons of why I'm so passionate about recording these conversations. But it's not just about me, it's not just about the guests, it's also about everybody listening out there. Whether you're a business, customer, partner, whatever it is, I'd love to hear from you too. So please, my door is open to each and every one of you. So email me directly, techblogwriter@outlook.com. And if you go over to my website, techblogwriter.co.uk, go to podcast at the top, you'll be faced with two different choices. You can listen to my collection of Citrix Ready podcasts in this featured partner series, or you can also see my Tech Talks daily podcast where I talk to a different tech leader every day. And for younger listeners that don't do email and just like to reach out to me on social, you can get me on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, all the usual suspects by looking for me at Neil C. Hughes. So please, I implore you all to reach out and contact me. Let me know your thoughts, your insights, your experiences, your challenges, how you've overcome them. And if you want to come on this podcast, we can arrange that too. But I'm afraid we're out of time. I'll be back soon with another great conversation. But all that's left for me to say is thanks for listening. And until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thank you for listening to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast with Neil C. Hughes. Remember, technology works best when it brings people together.